Alright, today we're gonna answer Ing Chai's question. Ing Chai is a friend that I actually met at the gym at Anytime Fitness, and surprising that I say that because I'm actually right outside Anytime Fitness in Calgary right now. Yeah, we're gonna be in Calgary in the next 5 days. For the next 5 days. So his question was, what are the three other methods or three other ways that I use to get myself unlimited motivation and also out of depression? So the first method, right? I'm gonna give four, okay, in this video. So if you stay until the end of this video, you are gonna discover four guaranteed ways that you can use to immediately boost your motivation, okay, by at least 100 to 150%, okay, guaranteed to work, because it has worked for me, and I'm pretty sure it will for you too, because all our bodies are kind of designed, in that sense that, hey, if we avoid all these dopamine triggers, you will definitely be a lot more motivated and less depressed. Okay, so of course it works a little bit better for some and a little bit, not so good for some, but by and large, this is how our brains operate. We are motivated by dopamine. Okay, so the first way is basically you just need to go ahead and avoid alcohol. Okay, and I know that might be extremely difficult for some people. That would be like, oh, what if I go into like a social interaction setting? I'm hanging out with like a couple of friends, and then they are offering me, beer or wine or whiskey or whatever it might be. Then what do I do? Well, you really gotta ask yourself, right? The question, which is, do you want to basically feel groggy the next day and feel wasted the next day and start puking and stuff the next day, or do you want to go ahead and hang out with a group of friends to say that, hey, I can only have a good time if I have alcohol inside me, which isn't necessarily the case, because I've like countless occasions, right, where I've hung out with a group of friends. They are the one consuming the alcohol. I'm just by the side. I'm just enjoying the conversation, and I have a lot of things to add to the conversation as well. But I have never come a point in time where without alcohol I'm not enjoying myself. Like, I still am, right? Does that mean that I'm not gonna take any red wine or beer or IPAs for the rest of my life? No. It basically just means that if given the option, right, okay, to consume and to not consume, I would choose not to consume, because it just it's just the way our brains operate. Like, the moment you put alcohol into your body, it basically releases dopamine in your brain, and it starts making your brain think that, oh, this thing must be good for me because it's giving me dopamine. But that ain't the reality, because it introduces alcohol into the system. It makes you feel groggy the next day. You feel like you kind of have a headache the next day, like a speeding headache the next day, and then you need at least like a few days in to recover, right? So it's very damaging for the body, and that's what I have found to kind of drastically improve my motivation levels, because just by avoiding alcohol alone, it stops the dopamine release and the dopamine trigger into your brain. Okay, and that is really the first method. So on to the second method. This was something that affected me nearing towards I would say, my university days, my college days, or even when I was studying in polytechnic. So I think this one is to avoid games at all costs. So avoid mobile games and avoid computer games, because it's gonna consume so much of your time, right? I was easily playing at least 10 to 12 hours a day worth of computer games, mobile games, Dota 2, Dota, whatever, what have you not. And it is a fucking waste of time, right? Because all it does to you, right, is it again tricks your brain into thinking that you're doing something productive, because what it's doing is, like, you are just basically chasing after that dopamine rush each time you play all these kind of games, and it rewires your brain to think that, oh, by acquiring all these items and acquiring all these achievements in the game, like, I got how many wins and how many losses, and what is my MRR and all that kind of shit, MMR and all that kind of shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? Why go for MMR, which is monthly matchmaking, I don't know what you call that, right? The points, the MMR, when you can go for MRR, monthly recurring revenue, which is business, right? That's really the shit that you need to be involved in, right? You need to be able to go and run a business, drive a business, and then the real high score is the bank account, okay? Not whatever the high score is in your games, okay? So I think that is something that is a very big trigger for me back then, which is to kind of be heavily involved in mobile games and stuff like that. And I know a lot of us are heavily into these kind of things, right? You are playing your Mobile Legends, you're playing your Fortnite, you are playing your Dota 2, your League of Legends, not lesbians, sorry. And there's all these games out there that you're playing, and it's poisoning your mind without you even knowing it, because what it does is, it might seem very trivial. It might seem like, oh, it's just a game. Like, what's the big deal with the game? But when you're sitting down there, like playing a couple of hours in, right, few hours in, 4 hours in, 5 hours in for the whole day, you are basically really just poisoning your brain to the degree that, oh, each time I play the game, I get a dopamine hit, and it's something that's good for me. But it's not, right? More often than not, what's gonna be like good the first time round is actually bad, like subsequently, right? Which is like, oh, it feels good playing for 4 hours, but hey, after 4 hours, do you really feel better about yourself sitting down there to play for like 4 hours? I don't know. Some of you might say yes, right? Some of you say like, this is life, this is what life is about. But I can tell you, I've been on both sides, right? I've been on the side where I'm playing games, and I've been on the side where I haven't played games. And I can tell you that the one where I wasn't playing games, that's where I get a lot more excited about life. I get a lot more, eager to wake up in the morning. I get a lot more motivated. I get a lot more, ready to go and crush my day, as compared to the version of me where, I was addicted to games, and then I was spending like a couple of hours in to play the games and stuff like that. That was not what, made me happy. And I'm pretty sure it won't make you happy too, because it's giving you a false sense of happiness that acquiring equipment in the form of pixels and acquiring money in the form of virtual currency is gonna make you happy, but it's not. Okay, it's a scam. So, okay, sue me, right? All the game developers out there, sue me. So that being said, like the next one on the list, the third secret, to basically get unlimited levels of motivation and be able to wake up at 4 a.m. every single day without without much effort, which is what I do a lot. So the third one on the list is actually to be able to work out, and I covered this in the previous video, but let me elaborate a little bit more on why I think it's so effective. Because until you can understand the reason why it's effective, right, I think that's when you will start seeing, oh, okay, I need to start doing this. Okay, I need to really, put myself in that position where, okay, I'm going at least 3 times a week or 4 times a week to the gym. Okay, so why I think workouts in general are very effective, right? And more specifically for me, okay, it works differently for different people. More specifically for me, runs are more effective. Okay, and the reason why I think so is because like it releases dopamine and endorphins in your brain when you go for a run. So for instance, if I go for a legit like 4 times 600 meter run at the stadium, I actually feel a lot better about myself as compared to doing strength training, at the gym, lifting weights for like 1 hour straight. Like a 20 minutes 6 times 400 meters run would pay me a lot more dividends as compared to just going to the gym for just 1 hour lifting weights. Okay, and the reason why I believe this is so is because it pushes your lung capacity to the limit. Okay, and then that's where the release of endorphins and dopamine start flooding into your brain, and that's where you have that sense of accomplishment. Okay, and that basically subconsciously tells your brain that, okay, the more hard work that I put in and the more hard work that I push myself to, okay, that's when I will get all these dopamine triggers and all these releases of dopamine to my brain. So what you're telling your brain to do is basically, hey, if you work hard, this is what you'll get. If you work hard, you'll get dopamine. If you work hard, you'll get even more dopamine, right? So the more you run and the more you keep pushing yourself, okay, subconsciously it's rewiring your brain. Okay, we as human beings, we don't know it, but subconsciously our brain, works that way. Our brain is a very traditional mechanism in the sense that, back in the Stone Ages, right, cavemen, okay, they get their dopamine triggers just by hunting for food, right? They get dopamine triggers for sleeping with each other. Okay, I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. Like they get high, okay, hunting for food and then running and chasing after like some tigers or leopards or whatever shit, and then they shoot the leopard and then the leopard dies, and then the tiger, and then they eat the tiger meat. So sorry, they got out of hand, but you know what I mean, right? Like that's how human beings, our bodies are designed. It's not designed for us to sit down from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. in front of the computer and then slogging our ass away and then complaining of our eyes being extremely itchy and dry and looking at the computer screen for 9 hours. No wonder you feel bad about yourself, because you have been sitting down there for 9 hours either playing your games or doing your work and stuff like that. And that's really something that you want to be able to have a balance in and really be able to work out, right? Be able to run. Okay, so if you're not able to work out, not able to run, the bare minimum I can, basically, or what I can suggest is you use what I call, or what I learned, called the ultradian rhythm. The ultradian rhythm. So what the ultradian rhythm is you work for 45 minutes straight, and then you rest for 15 minutes, and during this 15 minutes rest time, okay, is when you can do like static workouts, things like your push-ups, sit-ups, things like walking around the home, or going downstairs the park for a walk, right? Those are basically what you need to do, and that will also basically, help you get your body into that conditioning that I just mentioned, which is to trick your brain into thinking that, oh, there will be dopamine releases as long as I perform all these workouts and perform things that are tough. The tougher the things are, right, the better it is for your brain to kind of rewire itself to thinking that, oh, if I work hard in life, if I work hard for my career, if I work hard for business, if I work hard to get clients, if I work hard to do all these things to get sales, then yeah, it will naturally cascade into your life in business, or in your career, or your stuff like that. So that's basically the third secret, which is to work out. Now on to the last secret, and this one it's not a sexy answer, but it's arguably the most important thing. It actually is. So the fourth secret, right, is that you really need to have at least 7 hours of proper sleep. So not all sleep are created equal. Okay, not all sleep are created equal. Like some sleeps, you basically don't fall into deep sleep. You don't get your REM sleep. Okay, and then your body isn't given, the ability to rest and recover. Okay, and without being given the ability to rest and recover, chances are you will be very sluggish at work. And even if you think you're not sluggish, you actually are. It's just that you don't realize it yet. And your cognitive behavior, and the way that your mind thinks, and your whole kind of mindset, okay, is affected just simply because you don't have enough sleep. And sleep is really the most important thing, because like at the end of it all, right, if you do everything else right, you stop all the dopamine triggers like alcohol, mobile games, or social media, which are instant dopamine triggers, and you start working out. But at the end of the day, if you only have 3 to 4 hours of sleep, it's not very good for you. Okay, and I have been guilty of this, right? I, like, for the past 1 to 2 weeks, I actually didn't clock in enough sleep. Also because I just flew in from Singapore to Calgary, to Canada, and then I have the whole 15 hours difference, and then I'm jet lagging and stuff like that. But that being said, just earlier this morning I had about a good 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I slept at probably like 12 a.m. and then I woke up at 10 a.m. That being said, like, that's besides the point. So you want to make sure that you have enough sleep, and even if you don't have enough sleep, you want to be able to clear the sleep debt as soon as possible, right? Like, let's say the previous night I only slept for 3 to 4 hours. Today morning I went for a good 8 to 9 hours, just to make sure that my body is completely rested, my muscles can recover, I can basically grow, I have enough protein intake and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a bonus one. Okay, I'm gonna give two bonuses. Okay, so the fifth secret, right, is to make sure that you basically stop using social media, okay, for the purposes of checking what other people are doing. Okay, generally, if you want to be on social media, what you should be doing is you should be a producer. You shouldn't be a consumer. Okay, and I know that goes against kind of like what you're doing on this video, because you're consuming it now. But I see the irony in that. But that being said, like, you're only allowed to consume my channel. Okay, I'm just kidding, No, so this is real though. So you want to make sure that you turn off all the Instagram notifications, or your Facebook notifications, or your YouTube notifications, because each time you get a notification, you're gonna check it out. It gives you that dopamine trigger, especially if it involves you. Okay, so it's not good. So I turn off all my socials notifications on my phone. I don't want to get distracted. Okay, I only check them on maybe a daily basis, like whenever I want to check. Like maybe like not one time, maybe like 2 to 3 times a day. Alright. When I'm posting a video, when I'm scheduling a video to be published, then I'll check it. I'll see what the comments are. I will try to like reply to them and stuff like that. So you want to cut out social media because it's an instant dopamine trigger. It's an instant dopamine release. It's very bad for your brain because you desensitize your brain towards dopamine, right? You will think that, oh, dopamine is so easily obtained, so I don't need to work so hard in life. I don't need to push myself to my limits to get the dopamine release, which is bad for your brain because now your brain automatically thinks that, oh, just by going on social media, I'm getting work done. Although that's not the case, but that's how our brains are wired, right? It just works in, oh, there's dopamine, oh, there's no dopamine. Okay, so if this is the closest and fastest way for me to get towards dopamine, I'm gonna do that. And if social media is the way that I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it. Right? So that's how subconsciously our brain thinks. Okay, so that's the 5th one, which is bonus number 1. Okay, now I'm gonna give you the 6th one, which is bonus number 2. Is basically dieting. Okay, so your diet, right? You need to make sure that you consume whole foods, organic foods, and you want to really stay away from fast food and basically fried, processed, food that really consumes a lot of your energy, a lot of your body's energy to go and break down those foods. So yeah, what I found is when I did that, right? Okay, it really helped me think a lot clearer. So back when I was in Singapore, I was still, on a plant-based diet. And the plant-based diet that I had was basically like your good old tofu, vegetables, mushroom, and then a little bit of salt and pepper, and maybe some pasta or some quinoa or some rice. And that's about it, right? I don't consume anything fancy. I don't go and, I probably haven't eaten McDonald's in like 1.5 years. Okay. Or I probably haven't eaten KFC in like 1.5 years as well. The only times I consume all those stuff are like, okay, it's a very special occasion, like, okay, there's a family gathering and then, they order KFC or, they order McDonald's when it's a family gathering and stuff like that. Other than that, if I'm alone or if I'm just with my wife, Catherine, I wouldn't consume any of this kind of junk because I know that it makes me feel shitty about myself. It's hard to digest. It makes you feel weak. Okay, and more importantly, it doesn't have any nutritional value. Like, it's shit inside there, right? You generally want to have a high protein, low fat diet whereby the protein really helps you to build muscle. It helps you feel full, right? You don't overeat because you feel less full, right? You generally just want to have that, satiated feeling whereby, oh, I no longer need to consume any more carbohydrates, calories, and stuff like that. So diet, extremely important. I would say that on the pyramid side of things, right? Like, okay, what's all the way at the top in terms of the importance is definitely the sleep. And then from sleep onwards, it's gonna be your diet. And then from diet onwards, it's gonna be things like avoiding your mobile games, your computer games, and avoiding your alcohol. Okay, and then that's like the progress in which I would do it. The rest are all the micro optimizations things, would be like, what kind of software you use for project management, what's the systems that you use for your calendar, for your scheduling and all that. Yeah, I think those things are less important. Like, go and work on the things that I just mentioned in this video. If you take care of all 6 of them, okay, I guarantee you, okay, you're gonna see an uplift by at least 150% in your motivational levels. Okay, go and comment down below. Okay, use the 6 tips that I just shared with you. Comment down below. Let me know how it works out for you. Okay, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you found this video useful. I know that all these videos, the production value are not like super like, oh, there's all these fancy edits and all this stuff like that. Yeah, I get it, right? But at the end of the day, if you just go ahead and implement all these 6 items, I guarantee you will see some difference. Okay, because at the end of the day, like how our brains are wired, right, is really just by dopamine hits. And if you understand how dopamine works and affect your brain, okay, and you optimize your whole life towards ensuring that you don't get poisoned by that, okay, then you're definitely gonna feel a lot more motivated. Okay, so let me know if these kind of videos are helpful for you. Be sure to leave any questions or any comments down in the comment section below if you have any further follow-up questions. And again, Eng Chai, I hope this is helpful for you, and I'm gonna go ahead and answer many more questions as well if you go ahead and just leave more questions in the comments down below. Okay, to keep this channel going, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well. Okay, and I know I'm repeating this a lot, but that's because I genuinely want you guys to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, because I know that by doing that, you will help YouTube push the channel and push this in terms of the algorithm to as many people as possible. So hopefully you can help me with that. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.